Okay, we'll begin the today's session. The first step is, as always, to import the necessary libraries. So let me just import NumPy, as we'll be creating some data sets, and then matplotlib dot pyplot, and the third one, thank you. So we imported NumPy, then matplotlib dot pyplot, and then the third one that is important for creating 3D axis, we're going to import that. And for that, we're going to write import mpl underscore toolkits dot mplot 3d import, sorry, we're going to import 3d axis 3d axis 3d, and it should be from here. Oh, correct. I think someone texted in the comment. Yeah, Urjaswati is correct. So once we run this, there is no error, hopefully. Okay, so now can anyone let me know what is the next step in 3D plotting? Once we have imported, what is the next step? Data creation, that is correct. But what do we have to create before we use 3D plotting functions? We have to create a figure, right? Yeah, data creation is also a step. So we'll just create a figure where fig is equal to plt dot figure, and then we have to create axis, that ax variable. Ax is equal to fig dot add subplot 111 comma projection is equal to 3D. Okay, so now we have got this ready. Let's just create the data. uh, we are going to plot bar plot now in 3D. So let us just follow the steps for now. I'll explain why it's happening so later. So we'll create x and np.array. We're going to input few numbers, and let me just write 1 2 3 4 5, and then let me also create y, where I'm going to write np.array, and it's going to be all ones, and you will get to know why. So there are 5 1 present there. Now coming to z, I'll just write np dot, there is a function called as 0 underscore like. and within this function I'll just input x. I'll explain what's happening later. Now we also have to create dx dy, sorry, yeah, so we have to create dx dy and dz. Let me just write dx is equal to np dot once like, it's also a function again, and dy is equal to np dot once like of x, and dz is equal to, for dz I'll just remove this and I will write random numbers like 2, 3, 7, 1, 4, totally 5 numbers. Everyone completed till this step? Okay, now let me just tell you what these functions are doing. So here you have x variable, which is a numpy array, and within that x variable you have stored 5 numbers. At this np dot once like function, it will also create a numpy array where there will be only one, but the number of elements present will be equal to number of elements present in x. Are you guys able to understand what's happening? Okay, so let me just create, yeah, sure. So I'll just copy x and I'll paste it. So x is a numpy array. If I print x, you have got array of and the elements present in x. So you know that if I print length of x, it says 5. There are 5 elements. If I want to create one more variable called as dx, I'll just write it in comment. I want to create dx variable where there should be only one once, but number of elements should be equal to number of elements in x. So there are 5 elements present in x numpy array, and I want to create another variable dx where want to have I want to have 1 comma 1 comma 1 comma 1. There are 5 ones. So this is what I want to get. So instead of inputting like this, I can use a function called as np dot once underscore like, and if I just input x here and if I print dx now, you have got this where there are only ones and number of elements is equal to number of elements present in x. Are you guys able to understand? Okay, now there is a function called as zeros underscore like. Now are you able to understand what's happening here? It's going to be all zeros and number of zeros is going to be equal to number of elements present in x. Okay, so I'll just delete these cells. So we have created x, y, z and dx, dy, dz. Now, one thing that we have to note is x is going to be, uh, x will specify where the bar plot will start, and you will understand this. And y will specify the same again, and z will specify if this is the floor. I think it's better we name the axis. So I'll just write plt, sorry, ax dot set. Just comment out the ax dot bar 3D function. Yeah. So now you can see there is x-axis here and then there is y-axis. So this xy plane acts as the base and the bar will stand on this base. Are you guys able to understand? So z-axis acts as a height. So whatever you specify in z, that is going to be the height of the bar plot. But here is the catch. The reason why we are setting z is equal to 0 is because we want all the bar plots to stand perfectly on the plane. There should not be any gap between the base of the bar and this xy plane. Are you guys able to understand? If we set z is equal to 1, there is going to be a gap. It will look like bar is floating in the three-dimensional space. So that is why we are setting this z is equal to zeros. And the reason why we are setting y is equal to 1, this you will understand when we visualize it. And this dx is going to be width of the bar, and this dy is going to be width again, width of the bar. But I can better call it width of the bar in x direction and width of the bar in y direction. And this dz is going to be the actual height of the bar. Here z will act as the parameter that specifies where will the bar start from. Bar should start from the plane or the base or the foundation. So this dz will act as height of the bar in z direction, or you can also call it as width of the bar in z direction or height of the bar. That's all. Are you guys able to understand what's happening except this y? So we created a canvas and we created this box and we have got the axis named. We specified what should be the width of the bar in x and y direction so that a square shape or a four-sided shape will form, and then by using this dz variable we are specifying the height of the bar. Now if you just comment this, sorry, just remove that hash and you will get this. And if I run this, I get this. Now, if you can see, as there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 elements in the x, you have got 5 bars. This is the x axis, and you have got 5 different bars, and width of the bar is 1 in the x direction, width of the bar is 1 again in the y direction. That's why if you look at the distance between the two bars, it is 1. Are you guys able to see it? In the y-axis, it's more stretched, but in the x-axis, it is constricted. You can see between 1 and 2, there is 1 bar, but if you look at the y-axis, it starts from 1 and it ends at 2. So the difference is again 1. So width in both the axis x and y is going to be 1. Are you guys able to understand? Now you have Z. So this is how it looks like. Because we have set it to 0, everything is standing on the plane. If we just, you know, write a custom numpy array, np dot array, and I'll write an array where I'll write 0 for the first 4 bars. The first 4 bars should start from 0, where the fourth bar, where the fifth bar should start from 1. So if I do this, I have got a height, I have got a distance or a space between here, if you can see. It looks like the final fifth bar is floating in the three-dimensional space. Are you guys able to understand what's happening? It is like you are specifying where it should stand. Okay, so this is about bar plot. And now I will give one homework and I'll share that in the BRSI coders group. Because there is no electricity here and there is just 3% charge. So I'll just try to cover the plots. Would that be okay? If I try doing the application, I don't think we'll be able to complete it. So your homework is going to be, I'll give you 5 samples. It is going to be related to gene expression. You have to plot that in the three-dimensional space using this bar 3D, and you have to share the code with me and also the plot image. So that is going to be your homework. And if I just uh, teach you the stem plot. Everyone remembers how the stem plot looked like? It looked like light pole, or there is the circular ball and it is connected via a vertical line. That's how the stem plot looked in 2D, if you guys remember. So now we are going to do 3D stem plot. So it's going to be very simple. Just copy paste the same code of creating the figure and as well as the axis. And yeah, PLT show we can write. So if I run this, I get this canvas. Now I'll create a random data. So let me just write data creation, and I'll create something called as n, and again you will understand this later. And I'll create xyz. X is equal to np of sine, np of line space. And whatever I have got for x and y, I'll just use tab and I'll use that as my data. For z, I'll just write np dot line space 1 comma 0 comma 1 comma n. So this is going to be our data. Did you guys understand what's happening in the first xy code? We are generating 20 values and we are just inputting that within the sine function, and we are just doing the same, but we are using cos function here. But for z, we are generating 20 equally distanced values between 0 and 1 using this linspace function. Now, to create a stem plot, we just have to write axis dot stem, that is stem 3D. Let's write xy, sorry, xyz, and we get this. Are you guys able to understand what's happening in the code? So there is a stem 3D function, and a point to note is there is just stem function for 2D plotting. Even if you use that, you get the same plot. There is not going to be any difference. You have got a circle on the base which connects all the points, and you have got these circular dots, and they're connected to the base via a vertical axis, or we can call it stem, as it is the stem plot. And it kind of looks like what we see in dramas or movies, the staircase in big bungalows, and they have a holder on the side, something like that. So this was about stem plot. We'll look into the application later. I'll just tell you guys how to create the plot in today's session. So everyone understood how to create 3D stem plot? Okay. And coming to the final plot, that is fill between plot. Can anyone real quick let me know what is fill between plot and what it did? Just 2% charge in my mobile. Yeah, correct. Correct. So there used to be two lines or two curves. So it used to fill the distance, it used to fill the space between those two. And we could customize it by setting a threshold. Am I correct? I think we also visualized by using threshold how do we use the fill between plot. Yeah, so even in three-dimensional plot, it is going to be the same. You're going to create three, we're going to create two line plots for us to understand using this plot function, and then by using axis dot fill between, we are going to fill the area between those two plots. So that is what is going to happen. To create two lines, we need x, y, z for the first line, and then x, y, z for the second line. So we can better name it as x1, y1, z1 and x2, y2, z2. Everyone understood till this step? Okay. Guys, can you give me just 1 minute time? I'll just connect the laptop with a different hotspot. Otherwise, I think we will just have to end. Power bank charge యొక్క పట్నే హాట్స్పాట్ వీడియో पासवर्ड हाँ yellow small access to return to Okay guys, I'm back. So we'll create the data and then we'll begin plotting. So data creation, the first step again here. So we are going to, again, I'm just going to write the code. If you have doubt, let me know. Okay. So x is equal to np dot, sorry, x1. I think it's better we name it that way. We can just create something called as theta, a variable again, and yeah, whatever I got, I'm just going to use tab, and then for x1 I'm just going to use sine of theta, and for y whatever you can use it. Okay, because this is just a learning session. Np dot sine of theta and z1 is equal to np dot, how we did it for the last one, 0 comma 1 comma n. So we have created the data for the first line. Now we are going to create one more, that is x2, y2 and z2, and I'll just write z2 is equal to z1. For x2 and x1 I'll just copy this theta, and within this theta, within this parenthesis, I'll write np dot pi, and same for y2. Everyone understood what's happening here? Okay, hope there is no doubt. As I have always told, we are just creating a data, and this is not based on some theorem and all. Even while I was learning, I had used this matplotlib documentation with ChatGPT to learn, because in YouTube I don't think I found something good. And now it's time that we create the figure. So I'll just copy the figure code, and after that ax dot fill between so fill underscore between, and within this parenthesis now you have to write it in the order. First the xyz of the first line, then xyz of the second line. For e- for example, x1, y1, z1, x2, y2, z2. And after this, how transparent you want the area between the two lines to look like. To specify that, we have to use alpha, and I'm going to set it to 0.5 for now, and just setting the label for the axis, and we get this plot. Are you guys able to understand? Now, as I told, it is going to plot the area between the two lines. So if you want to visualize that better, we can just write ax dot plot, and within this just specify the points of the first line, then again create the same line plot. Let's overlay those plots on this fill between plot and change the color. I'll set one to green and one to red. Now you can see there is one green line and then there is one red helical line, and it has plotted the region between those two lines in the blue color. Are you guys able to understand? I think it was same in 2D, and it is going to stay the same even in 3D. There are going to be two lines and it is going to plot the region between the two lines. And if you imagine this better, it is more like, I'll just show you, paint. So you might be wondering what's happening here, because it is not as simple as uh, wait, is my screen visible? The paint screen? No, okay. Okay, hope the paint screen is now visible. So what's happening is there are two lines. So in 2D, I'm going to draw the lines. So there is green line and then there is red line. So in 2D plot, what used to happen was, so if I just join these two in 2D, okay? So the region between these two lines, green and red, got highlighted. Where is the fill option? Yeah. So the region between the green and red line got highlighted. In 3D, what's happening is, this is just how I understood, okay? This is not something scientific and all. I thought, what if we tear this 2D paper a little on here, we'll just tear a little, and here we'll just tear a little. What if you just bend it? Then it will look like the one which we have visualized. Are you guys able to understand? If you cut a little on both the sides of this 2D paper and kind of, how should I explain? I think maybe in offline I could have done this better. So it will look like the one which we have visualized. If you're not able to imagine, that's okay. So we can work on it together. Uh, so this is how it will look like. So that's what I'm trying to say. So there is a green line and then there is a red line. You can see there is dark blue area and then there is light blue area. Am I correct? It is more like you're folding the one side of the uh the plane that you tore. Are you guys able to understand? Okay. Okay, okay. So that's great. So what I'm trying to say is if we just cut the fill in between plot region and if we unfold it, it will be a 2D plane. That's what I'm trying to say. And this was all about today's class. So we learned about how to plot a stem plot in 3D, how to plot fill between plot in 3D, and the important one, how to plot a bar plot. And there are few extra things, dx, dy, dz, that we have to be careful about. And I'm going to give you the homework, and it's going to be very simple, not too much like you have to build an ML model. So I hope you guys or DM me with the plot image and the code. Would that be fine? You have to create bar plot using the problem. So guys, there is just 1% charge. Let me just take quick screenshot.